Welcome into another edition of Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis. Lady Eagles were on the road in Texas to take on the Mean Green and take on the Rice Owls, and then they look forward to coming home this week to take on Middle Tennessee and UAB. We'll talk about that later in the show, and we'll also talk about the road trip later in this segment. But we have to start, Joy, with what makes Southern Miss special. Certainly receiving the news about the tornado and just the horrific damage that it did and the lives lost here in Hattiesburg. Truly horrific. And the student body here, the athletic student body and our staff and our administration and just across the board to immediately, as soon as they could, get out into the community to lend a hand and do whatever was necessary is what it's all about.
You know, Josh, it was really quite a very moving experience yesterday as we got back in town late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and we were able to impact our community, which we had told the players that night that as soon as we got back to Hattiesburg, got some details that we would be in the neighborhoods. No matter what time we got back in, that was our duty to be able to give back to our community. And Daniel Feig and Zach Woodfin and them really did a tremendous job of working with our FCA director and Mitch Williams to be able to link things together for our student athletes here at Southern Miss to go out in the community. And it was an unbelievable experience as we walked into the community, into the neighborhood there off of Richburg Road to see such devastation. And actually one of the fatalities from the tornado was in that neighborhood. We actually went in that house. So again, it was a good field day that we were able to feel good about being able to get people's yards clean, to be able to move, trees and those kind of things and all the damage. And Josh, it's not about wins and losses when you think about those things. Those things are so much greater. It's truly the big picture. But for our student athletes at the center, at the athletic center, join hands and pray prior to leaving as we did. It was just a very moving experience to know that so many student athletes in our administration cared that much about our community to be able to reach out and try to make a difference. It was such a great experience for us and our student athletes.
It was, and it was a way to cap off a week to keep everything in perspective, and that perspective is that there's a lot of season left. The Lady Eagles played really well for stretches on the road, and you ran into two good teams in North Texas and Rice that shot the cover off the ball.
Josh, people ask me, did y'all play bad? No, we really didn't play bad. Defensively, that's been something we've hung our hat on. We had tons of breakdowns in that. And, we were faced with the dilemma. Do you guard the inside? Do you guard the three ball? What do you do? And, they had shot the three ball okay. It wasn't great, but both teams had their best shooting nights. Both hitting 10 of 19 from three-point range is quite remarkable. And it was disappointing in our being a day late and a dollar short on our rotations and defensively. And that's what happened to us. And, hats off to North Texas and Rice. They shot the cover off the ball. I mean, at Rice, we shoot right at 50%. You should win a ball game. But when Rice shoots 56%, you're not going to win. And, it was games that, again, we played very hard in. And it wasn't that we played poorly. We just didn't defend like we're capable. Probably some of our better offensive outputs in our half-court offense in those two games, and we've had all year. So again, you walk away, and the frustration thing as a coaching staff and as a team is that, there was so many areas we made positive steps in, but there was the area that we hang our hat on. We made such a major step backwards. So I can promise you, Josh, just like today, just like the other days this week, going into our game on Thursday, we'll be back on track defensively.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Lady Eagles. We'll talk about the big homestand coming up. But when we come back from break, we're going to talk about a very special lady to this program. It's K. James Day coming up on Saturday, the 28th, and we take on UAB. You're going to want to get here. You're going to get here early, and there'll be a lot to honor a very special woman to our program. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis.
basketball fans, the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championship is headed back to Birmingham in 2017. Bartow and Legacy Arenas will host games from March 8th through March 11th. So mark your calendars now and be sure to check out conferenceusa.com for all the information like ticket prices, championship brackets, and game times. This will be college basketball at its best, so plan now to join us in Birmingham.
As we continue with Southern Miss Sports today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis, Lady Eagles are really excited to be back at home and a chance with Middle Tennessee and UAB coming in. We'll talk about that in our last segment, but we want to talk about a really special day coming up on Saturday, Kay James Day. Kay James had a chance to when we were filming this, to be able to talk about her and what she means to the program, to the staff, to the players, to building this program, to what she means as our color analyst and the enthusiasm and the analysis that she brings. And that, what I think is amazing, she still sees the game in slow motion.
You know, Coach is truly a pioneer of our game. She really is. You know, going back, Josh, to when they first had scholarships here, that's when Coach James was here. And I joke with her, and some of my teammates say she hasn't aged. You know, her hairstyle's kind of changed, but she hasn't aged. She still looks just as young as she's ever looked. And, you know, but she was the one that got in vans, and when she first come to Southern Miss, didn't know which direction was south on 59 or north on 59. And so again, she took it, and she built this program into what it is today. I mean, she is truly a legend here at Southern Miss, but not only at Southern Miss, but she is a legend throughout our state. And that's the reason that we're honoring her, is because of her induction into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. You know, that's just an awesome honor for her. And it truly goes back to harvesting. You know, she labored many years and put in much time, not just in games, but in young people's lives. And she helped us all grow up and see life in a total different perspective. And because of her putting her heart and soul into this program, into young girls' lives, that's why we all are where we are today. You know, and Coach truly is definitely someone that has impacted the lives of her players, but also impacted the lives of the people around her. So we're honoring her for that. We're honoring her for induction into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. And we're honoring her because Coach Kay James is a legend, not only at Southern Miss, in the community of Hattiesburg, throughout the state of Mississippi and the surrounding areas. What a legend, a pioneer that made things happen at Southern Miss.
Incredible. And to have the Express step up, be a sponsor for that game, and for the first 500 fans to get a commemorative poster. And I'm sure if you go up to Kay, she'll autograph it for you.
You know, she will. And we hope to have her at courtside 2 autograph sessions, after an autograph session. But you know, Tom Curtis and the Express, Coach James, back when I was a player in 1982, you know, that was the first bus trip that the Express took as his buses, was one of our games, one of our trips. And Tom Curtis at the Express was kind enough to help sponsor this day, to make it a very special day for Coach James, because he said if Coach James would not have taken that chance many years ago to start using the Express, it may not be where it is today. So a special thank you for Tom Curtis.
And just so neat to hear all those stories of how Kay is impacted every one of us. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap the show. We'll talk about Middle Tennessee, #1 team in the league coming in, and also the Blazers of UAB. We'll wrap it up in a moment. You're watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Another at the 20, 15, gets a block, cuts back in, touchdown. His body got a foot down for a Golden Eagle touchdown. Mike goes up. Short of slant, Trent Taylor, but he's going to be brought down for a loss.
As we wrap this edition of Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis, Lady Eagles taking on Middle Tennessee and the Blazers of UAB. And Joye, this is another one of those weekends where the Lady Eagles have two physical teams coming in, two teams where it's going to be a battle of wills on the floor. And again, these are going to be two hotly contested games that'll go down to the final minutes.
You know, Josh, it is. It's two very well coached teams. Middle Tennessee is who they are. You know, Rick Insell is up for the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. He's one of the 12 finalists for that, does a tremendous job at Middle, has definitely elevated that program to a different level in his tenure there. Then you've got Coach Randy Norton that has been at UAB, that took over a program that had really struggled and has done a tremendous job of really elevating that program. And you know, both of those teams come in, and it's good rivals. I mean, it is a good rivalry, and it is a battle in every one of those games. It's never a blowout anymore, and you know, I'm just blessed that we've got it here at home. The thing is, Josh, that the struggles that we had at North Texas and Rice was a three ball. Guess what? They both come in and they can shoot the cover off of the three ball. They're very, very good. Middle Tennessee on Thursday night has Alex Johnson inside, Ty Petty, and then their supporting cast is really, really good because they all can shoot the three ball. And then you go to UAB that has a lot of young players because he's got a lot of new players that's come in. He's got a star in Rachel Childers that's leading them in scoring, that is a freshman that can really shoot the ball. You've got Deanna Kuzmiak that returns from last year that can shoot the ball. Got another freshman in Maya Barnes. So again, they got a lot of new players, but they're playing very, very well together, and they can shoot the cover off of it as well. So the Lady Eagles are faced with another challenge of something that caused us to stump our toe on the road with the Rice Owls and North Texas. So we have really worked very hard, Josh, on refocusing. You know, I told our players, and you heard me on the bus coming back from Houston, you know, it's truly about evaluating ourselves, coaches, players, everyone, and cleansing ourselves with our negative thoughts and only be positive about the things that we're good at and make the negatives, the things that are in our brains that we struggle with. We're going to work very hard this week to be able to make them positive, or at least make steps to make it positive. But it's two very, very good teams coming in. Thursday night, middle school, high school teams can get into our game. They have to fax in their rosters by Wednesday to 601-266-6260, and they can get in free. It has to be done by Wednesday, and they will be our guests for that night. Then on Saturday, it's the K. James Day, which we will be having a reception up here at 2:30 in our office area for Coach James. So two big games, two great coaches, and two great teams come right into Reed Green. So we need great crowds to come in and be the support for the Lady Eagles.
And then looking big picture of where we are right now, this is coming up, the biggest four-game swing of the season coming up here in terms of for conference. And then you could also make the argument that the final seven, the Lady Eagles could be a slight favorite in those seven. So one at a time, we need to go get two or three in this four-game set here.
You know, Josh, we've got to take care of our business at home. You know, everybody in the league, of course, you want to protect your home. And, you know, we lost to Charlotte. Did not play well in that game at all. Charlotte played extremely well. Again, we did not defend Charlotte very well. And so we're going to be faced with that same daunting task. And so, you know, again, defense and rebounding is what's going to help us be successful. And we've got to really shove it into another gear because the teams that are coming in are really, really good. Middle's sitting right now at number one in the league. UAB knocking right there on the door of being one of the top in Conference USA. And so it's so critical, Josh, that we have large crowds to be able, as hard as we play, and the people that have not been out to see us play, they really don't quite understand until they come to Reed Green and be a part of that excitement in this team that is going to be very fast-paced up and down the floor and play so hard. It will bring people to their seats. We just got to get them into the seats, and then they can get to the edge of the seat to be able to cheer for the Lady Eagles.
Well, again, it's going to be an exciting week with the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Blazers of UAB. For Craig Adams, for Coach McNelis, I'm Josh West. Until next time, you've been watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis.